Don't tell them. Yeah, so going back to the environment, this is the environment I grew up in, and one of the things that strikes me when you go out into nature is how peaceful and calm it is and serene it seems. But there's also a brutality that's happening out there where the things that are there are the things that can survive and they're selected for in their environment. But also what's been going on where I grew up is a bunch of grass fires. And so these clouds, as they also look like the big cumulus clouds you might see in a thunderstorm that happens in the Midwest, this is kind of inspired by some of the wildfires that are happening. And in fact, this bison ranch was, I believe, was affected, along with a lot of other cattle ranches in the area, where they were having to move herds of animals to avoid the catastrophe of the wildfires up in northeast Wyoming. And while I wasn't there for that part of it, you know, I've grown up in the environment and went out when I was a kid catching snakes and lizards in the prairie and all that kind of stuff. So I have a sensibility of what it feels like to be out there, and it's really hard to show what something looks like when you can look around in every direction. So trying to put that inside of a frame of reference and these limitations is the trick. And the way that's done is through, you know, through color, through the time of day, through the angles that you're doing from the point of view, whether you're looking up at it or down at it. And so you might think of this in sort of in a cinematic term as being both an establishing shot and a closing shot, in the sense that you're being established into the location and a couple of characters in a story, but we don't know if, obviously something has happened, but something might be about to happen too. And so that begs the question for the viewer to, you know, insert their own connections to it, what they might feel, how they read the body language of this character. I feel like the bison has this sort of comforting element to it, like it's a sense of solace and like an old friend or something, like something that we know and we've been connected to, but we don't know quite how. You know, if you've ever met someone that you feel like you're just instantly connected to them, there's something about that. But like I said earlier, it wasn't words. Like there's a way of, the way I came up with the idea was basically I had the experiences being around the environment, being around myself and how I feel, and then the idea popped into my head. I did a sketchbook drawing of it, and I knew I had something because I felt it. And so when I'm creating the artwork, I'm creating a sense of the way things make me feel. And what I'm aiming for as I progress through a painting is, does it feel correct? Does it hold on to the feeling I had when I started this? That doesn't mean that I don't shift directions and the painting might lead me in new things as I'm going through it. You know, there's a certain spontaneity that happens in the creation. But the ultimate goal is that it connects on a sort of visceral level, even if I don't know how to explain what it means with dialogue. You know, we were on our way down here, we were talking about this painting. It's like, I made this painting, I haven't had a chance to talk about it. I don't even know what to say. I know how it makes me feel, but I don't want to like make a story for everybody that is so concrete that there's no room for them to find themselves in it. Does that make sense? So there's a simplicity that happens in making the artwork too. So there's two characters, there's the ground, and then there's the sky. And with those four elements, you can tell a very complex story with just the way things are arranged together. Because we start making meaning out of things. We see what we want to see, not only in the paintings, but in everything around us. We see the stories we want to see. We have belief systems that we attach to the things we want to see. And we keep seeing the things that we're looking for.